We live in a world where time seems to be the most tangible, most material entity. Clocks measure our journey, calendars mark days and months, and we ourselves are trapped by seconds that slip through our fingers like grains of sand. We are used to thinking of time as something linear, moving only forward, relentlessly and irrevocably. Within this movement lies our anxiety and fear. What if we waste time? What if we don't make it? What if we reach the end of the road empty-handed? But let's take a step back and look at it differently. What if time is not what we think it is? What if it is not a linear line, but rather an ocean in which we swim? In philosophy and spiritual practices, it has long been known that time is not an objective reality, but a subjective perception, a construct of consciousness. In the depths of our being, time is not divided into past, present, and future as rigidly as it seems in everyday life. Instead, time is an endless present from which everything arises: memory, anticipation, dreams. Our fear of wasted time is based on the illusion of separation. Mentally, we separate lost hours, days, years, as if they could be lost and discarded. But what does it mean to waste time? To waste means to exchange for something valuable. And what valuable thing can we always find in every lived moment, if only we look closely? Time, as perceived by consciousness, is like sand in an hourglass. But if you change your perspective, you can see that the sand does not disappear. It simply changes form. Similarly with life, each moment remains with us, transforming into experience, into memory, into that unique thread from which our destiny is woven. Why are we so afraid to lose time? Why do thoughts that hours, days, or years could have been used differently cause us anxiety, sometimes even despair? All of this goes back to our self-image and ideas of success, cultural beliefs, social norms. From childhood, we hear, "Time is money. Time is a resource to be saved. We must be productive, achieve goals, grow, and develop." In this endless striving for results, the fear is born that if we stop, if we allow ourselves simply to be, then we will lose life. This fear is the fear of worthlessness, emptiness, and oblivion. It is connected to our deep need to be significant, needed, successful. But this mindset is just a script imposed from outside. It can be changed if we realize that the concept of wasted time is conditional, not absolute. We evaluate what we have lived through the prism of success or failure, through what can be measured, weighed, represented in numbers and achievements. But life is not bookkeeping, and its meaning is not always on the surface. The fear of wasted time is a fear of losing control. We want to believe that we hold everything under control, that we can manage our time, direct its flow. But time is not something that can be controlled. Time is a state of being. It constantly slips away from our schemes and plans. It is in this slipping away that freedom lies, if we allow ourselves to let go of the chains of control. Our perception of time is a linear story where events follow one another, forming the thread of destiny. But in reality, time is not so straightforward. Remember moments when time slowed down or sped up, when you were immersed in deep creativity, in the joy of communication, or on the contrary, in fear and anxiety. These experiences show that time is not an objective category. but a phenomenon that changes depending on our inner state. Here lies the key. To stop fearing wasted time means to learn to dwell in the present moment, to consciously be here and now. The eternal present is not just a beautiful expression, but the deepest practice. It is the ability to fully experience every moment, without rushing, without regrets, without anxieties. The eternal present is a state of flow where boundaries between past and future, between important and unimportant, disappear. This is not a passive state, but an active, creative presence in which life is born in all its fullness. By being here and now, we free ourselves from the illusion of wasted time because time becomes a part of us, a part of the endless flow of life. How then to stop fearing wasted time and begin to live without this heavy burden? The answer lies in practice, the practice of mindfulness, acceptance, and letting go. First, the practice of self-observation. Each time the thought arises that time has passed in vain, stop and just watch this thought like a cloud floating across the sky. Do not judge it, do not fight it, just observe. This act of mindfulness creates space for choice. Either cling to fear or let it go. The practice of acceptance. Accept everything that has already happened with full openness and without judgment. Acceptance does not mean agreement with the situation. It is rather a deep acknowledgement of the fact that the past cannot be changed. With acceptance comes relief, and with it, freedom. Third, the practice of living presence. Meditation, breathing exercises, contemplation of nature help to immerse oneself in the present. You begin to notice that it is here and now that all life is born, not in the past, not in the future. Finally, remember, the fear of wasted time is only one of the facets of our ego that clings to the illusion of control and constant growth. By letting go of fear, we free space for genuine creativity, for a life filled with meaning and joy. Having realized the illusion of time and overcome the fear of wasted time, we open the door to a new reality, a reality of freedom and inner peace. In this state, we begin to live differently, not chasing minutes and results, but enjoying every moment, be it the quiet of the morning, a loved one's smile, or the soft sound of rain. Time ceases to be a prisoner and executioner. It becomes an ally and teacher. We understand that every lived moment already contains meaning, even if it is not immediately visible. All our experiences, all our paths, part of the single flow of life, and there are no wasted pages in this book. Life without the fear of wasted time is a life in harmony with oneself and the universe. It is a life filled with both depth and lightness. In this life, we do not lose ourselves chasing the future, nor cling to the past. We simply are. And in this simply being, the whole infinity and fullness of life unfold. And so, concluding this journey into the depths of understanding time, it is important to remember: the fear of wasted time is merely a shadow of our mind, which wants to control and measure everything. But life is not a counting machine. It is a living, flowing movement that cannot be confined to frames and schedules. Today, allow yourself to release all worries and doubts about whether your time has been spent right or wrong. Allow yourself simply to be, in this moment, at this very point of eternity. For it is here in the present that the fullness of life unfolds. Do not rush to fill every second with tasks and achievements. Instead, learn to see the beauty and meaning in the simple, in the breath, in sounds, in sensations. Let time become your ally, not your enemy. May your life turn into a dance where there are no losses or failures, only an endless flow of experience, wisdom, and joy. And when the fear of wasted time tries to come back to you, greet it with a gentle smile and silence in your heart, for you are already free. Live consciously, live lightly, live fully.